Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President. National anthem. President, the National Chairman, all principal members of the National Assembly, this meeting of the National Executive Committee, the 28th of April 2022. Next is the opening prayer. To give us the opening prayer, please.
And thank you for our good trust, and thank you for the presidents and the good be to your glory. We ask that to bring the success of our.
None of us can pretend to be unaware of this and the threat it poses to the party. It was in an effort to unite the party at all levels that the former caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee found it necessary to appoint a reconciliation committee to undertake this critical task to save the party. I recall Mr. President warning to us not to be unmindful of what happened to PDP in 2013-2014. Our party is not immune to a similar fate should it allow itself to be factionalized and weakened by grievances that force the leaders and the members to pull in different directions. I was privileged to chair the Reconciliation Committee. I came away with the assignment fully conversant with the role of egos and self-pride in the affairs of the party. I confess that it was not an easy task. The grievances were deep, with hardened positions constituting obstacles to our efforts at reconciliation. The problem, really, is a battle of supremacy between the serving state governors and their predecessors in office. It is a crisis fueled by ego. Someone wrote a book called Ego is the Enemy. I can't agree more. Ego has widened the gulf between the serving and former governors. Ego has turned them into bitter enemies. Because of ego, the two groups are pulling our party in different directions in a manner that constitutes an existential threat to its victory at the polls next year. The serving governors and the former governors are powerful men, each of whom can boast of a large number of followers in their various states. It is said that when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Similarly, when two powerful groups of politicians fight, the party suffers because it is trampled up underfoot by rich and powerful men. We cannot let this continue because it constitutes clear and obvious danger to our party. We must have the courage not to be mean-mouthed about it. The serving governors are the leaders of our party in the various states. I should no mistake about that. This is in keeping with our party constitution. It is important for the former governors to recognize that party structure and respect it. Our party constitution makes no room for two state leaders of the party. There's no reason to compete with the serving governors for the leadership of the party. They were supreme in their days in the past. They cannot be supreme now. They must become statesmen in their own right, but they must allow the governors to do their job. They must feel free to offer advice, but they must not insist on the superior wisdom over the current governors. The former governors, some of whom are now senators, are still powerful political leaders in their own right. They remain absolutely relevant in the affairs of the party in their various states. The serving state governors cannot afford to treat them with disrespect or seek to undermine their relevance in the scheme of things without doing damage to the party. The way forward is for both groups to stop nursing and serving their egos. They must not be able to bury, they may not be able to bury their egos, but they must bury the hatchet, that they have become weapons in the defense of their egos. Both groups must make sacrifices for the sake of this great party. The party must enforce this position. The serving governors and the former governors must each recognize their boundaries and cultivate mutual respect for one another. If two groups reconcile in earnest, it will be easy for the party to redress the grievances of the members who have become part of the problem. United, we can face our challenges of leadership, relevance, and victory at the polls next year. Unity is a duty we owe ourselves. Our watchword from now should be APC first. If we are united, the second burden will be lighter and easier to bear. As things stand, our party stands head and shoulders above the rest of the political parties in the country. We have 41 million registered voters or members of our party. No other party comes close to this huge and impressive number. They even don't know how many people have their membership card. Our party controls the National Assembly and the majority of the state governments. On the face of it, we have good reasons to crow, but managing and holding on to success is a critical element in human and party management. If our huge numbers tempt us to be complacent, we may wake up to see that we are called upon to pay a surprise price. We must guard against complacency. We must take nothing for granted. We must manage our successes as good managers. Politics is the realm of uncertainties. Let me also make a couple of points here. The first is to make it clear that we in the National Electoral Committee lay no claims on the monopoly of wisdom. We are open to suggestions. We are open to informed views of our members. The political party benefits from the wisdom of its members, no matter how lowly they might be in the hierarchy of the party. I wish to encourage our party members to continue to make valuable contributions to how our party is run and how best it can be run for our greater success. My second point is party discipline. A political party such as APC, at the heart of national development, must be exemplary in leadership and fidelity to its own core values. Our party constitution has enough provisions to attend to grievances by aggrieved members. We wish to encourage our members to take advantage of those channels and refrain from using the media to fuel minor personal grievances in an attempt to get their own pound of flesh. We wish the good family and fairly enforce discipline among our members under any and all circumstances. My third point is to draw your attention to the fact that an election season is a difficult and challenging season. It is a time that strenuous attempts are made to revision half-truths, outright lies, and deliberate misinformation are the well-known weapons to attack against the incumbent government. You do not need to hear from me that the Buhari administration is the sole subject of verification in and outside the media. Some of the criticisms and lies are so unkind as to create the impression that this administration has done nothing positive for the country. It is even years in office. Their sinister objective is to portray the party and the government with that as a failure. Their sinister objective is to portray the party and the government with that as a failure, and therefore cannot be trusted to birth a competent successor administration. We must appreciate the depth of public feelings over the economic and the security challenges facing the administration and the country. They were part of the challenges that motivated the president to run for public office. That they remain critical challenges is the nature of human progress. Human problems and challenges are not solved with a magic wand. Their solutions must follow slow but sure processes. Well, as the saying goes, all is fair in war. The facts are there, but when political parties choose to fight dirty and throw mud in every direction, they do not care for facts because lies are easy to be invented and are by their nature sweet. As members of the APC, we have a duty to defend the sterling records of this administration. We should not shy away from this. Politics is a competitive game by its nature. It can be rough. Let the others play it rough, but we will play it as statesmen and women. We must continue to match their lies with truth and verifiable facts about this administration. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, a new APC administration succeeding this APC administration is a huge challenge facing us. It is a task God has thrust upon our shoulders. It is a task we must successfully carry out. We promise you here and now that we shall deliver by the grace of God. We are the winning team, but we are only the team leaders. Let the clarion call go forth from this place, that our party expects all its leaders and members to be fully united in the task of winning the next general election. We must individually and collectively do whatever it takes, and whatever is required of us, we must give our sweet best, if need be, to achieve our common objective by the grace of God. Thank you for your attention.
But we resolved on the motion to devolve powers of the NEC, National Executive Council of this party, to the NWC, National Working Committee, for a period of 90 days in interim. The motion was moved by the Senate President. It was seconded, amended by Governor of Kaduna. We eventually agreed, and the motion went thus: that the powers of the NEC, as in Article 13, Sub 3, Roman 3, 2, 4, 5, and 6, has been vested in the NWC for the period of 90 days. Thank you.
When the whole firmament of politics looked so dark, Your Excellency, you became the candelabrum of our party, and today you've proved naysayers wrong. On behalf of the entire state chairman, we have come again to reiterate our total support for the leadership of the National Working Committee headed by our father, a thoroughbred politician from when party politics used to be party politics from 1979. Because of his rich knowledge of party politics, the state chairman have all resolved that wherever he goes is right. And that is why today, to all the resolutions passed, we have donated our absolute powers. We must thank him for the initiative of having a pre-meeting before now, and all our concerns he has assured us. Your Excellency, under your directive, a great innovation was made to our Constitution. The creation of Article 12, 18, 19, 20, 21 that brought about the polling unit structure, the women wing, the youth wing, and the people living with disabilities remain an engine for the engendering of peace, love, unity, and growth of our party at the various polling unit level. That is why Article 1315 went specifically to say that that is the organ that is saddled with the responsibility of delivering our party. We have come to reassure Mr. President and all leaders of this party that the state chairman, the working committee at the various state level are already ready to move to the field. This is the time to work. This is the time to take our party to victory. We call on all support from the leadership of the party. I want to thank the national chairman for reassuring us that at the end of the sale of funds, the percentage coming to the states will be remitted to us. We know that is going to help us a great deal. I want to thank Mr. President for giving that approval. And that is why we have signed on the cost of the sale of this fund, because most members of our great party, we will never see them after now. This is the time. So what belongs to Caesar, give to Caesar, and what belongs to God, give to God. Thank you very much.
Without the sacrifices that, Mr. President, you have personally led and made. We remember how on many occasions you patiently sat and had many stakeholders and painstakingly and carefully, literally refused to get drawn, but to ensure that no matter how difficult it is, due process must be followed. And it was due process that led us to the very, very successful convention that has shamed our critics. I remember in the convention ground meeting a foreign diplomat who came in as an observer, and he said he was surprised at how our party has managed to get consensus arrangement for many of the positions that were otherwise thought to be difficult to be elected. But your leadership helped saw us through, so we congratulate you once again. We also congratulate you because you have given each of the 22 members of this forum, of the All Progressive Governors Forum, the access and freedom to visit and to discuss and to feel confident that indeed each of us are equal before you, and you have encouraged us and you have given us the confidence to be the party leaders of our states and also to be responsible for our party nationally. And these are things that we hold dear, and we will always ensure that we reciprocate. Under your leadership, under your kind nature and achievements, 3 governors joined the party, and I was opportune to be present when each of them saw you for the first time. And each of them mentioned the major reason being your achievements, your transparency, your equity in giving literally each of the 36 states of the Federation a sense of belonging by giving governors access and equality of treatment. Thank you, Mr. President. And equally today, we are having the first National Executive Committee meeting of the party under Senator Abdullahi Adamu, whose achievement and qualification gives us all the confidence that which we seek for our party will happen by God's grace. Your Excellency, I must mention, I know that I've been warned that we have 2 minutes, but there are 2 things that we think are necessary, because we are having this National Executive Committee meeting almost on the fork of the season's beginning for the primaries of our party. And it's important for us to remember, if others will not, that when you are sworn in, there are 27 states that could not pay salary. Maybe now it's not convenient to talk about it, but maybe think it's insignificant, but it was quite significant. Because not only was 27 states unable to pay salary, but commodity prices collapsed and the revenue. But yet, because of your frugality, your value of money, somehow we are able to mobilize and make do with little, to the extent that by the end of 2015, states are all able to pay salaries, pension, and in fact, some of them gratuities. Equally, states, there was no state that federal government was not owing either for roads or for one project or the other. But irrespective of party, you ensure that all those states were refunded. And that went a long way to provide liquidity for states to begin capital projects. Equally, the social intervention programs, which have never been undertaken, the quantum and scale, and infrastructure and agricultural intervention, were beneficial to all the states and all of us, including of course, the 22 APC states. But more than just being beneficial to all the states, maybe Your Excellency, is one of the ways in which God has rewarded you, because those social interventions have mobilized those at the lowest end of the income strata, which are your 12+ million voters that have always followed you religiously. And that's why it's not surprising that we do not have food shortages, because food production has been mobilized, yields have been going up. Despite the challenges of insecurity, the resilience of the Nigerian people is giving courage in the policies and determination of your policies and programs. So we congratulate our achievement, Mr. President. And all this, we battled 2 recessions amidst COVID, amid floods, amid drought, and now amid Russia-Ukraine war. So, Your Excellency, I think it's only fair that the party and all of us in the Progressive Governors Forum are very, very conscious of that. We have been inspired by you. We are mindful of your benevolence, and we will always reciprocate. So, the 22 governors of the APC, I would like to once more assure you of our commitment to support you and our party to ensure that in the next couple of months, which are going to be very demanding, we are available, we are committed to support, despite the individual interests of members of our party, of the forum. We are cognizant of our standing in the party as a strategic stakeholder, and will support you and the party to ensure that the evolution that we'll see will be harmonious, will support a due process led process that you have always insisted upon. Your Excellency, as we conclude this, I also note what the chairman have said about the relationship between governors and former governors. We, in our meetings, have always spoken to each other, and we are not happy that in few states, maybe 5, there have been challenge between members of National Assembly and the state. And we have always been supporting each other and working at our own level. But we are cognizant of your message. But it goes beyond APCs. We do have 12 states that do not have APC governors. And yet there are controversies between stakeholders, which we also have been playing and shall continue to support the party in playing any role that the party thinks we can do to see to their resolution. We have a great party, and we are confident, Mr. President, with what we have seen, with what our achievements have been. The future is bright, and come 2023, we will be successful by God's grace. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much.
We have gone through the crucible. We have come out heads high and ready to go. Mr. President, one cannot talk about the successes of our party without talking about your successes. There's two intertwined lifetime histories. And the governor of Kebbi has captured everything that I could have said, maybe even more, regarding how you have steered the ship of our great party. Mr. President, let me just say that your calm disposition is one for many of us to emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, on a lighter mode, Mr. Chairman, I picked up on your opening remarks, and I picked up on one word, which was not, the significance of that word was not lost on me. You said the party right now should be doing an Owambe dance. For me, and I'm sure for many people, that we have so many people, and it tells us how viable our party is. We have so many people who are running and contesting for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under our party. From everywhere, from South, from Southeast, from Southwest. But that statement of yours that we should be doing an Owambe party was not lost on me, because Owambe is a Southwest word. And I think the import that we should be doing Owambe is very clear as to the direction of the party. I thank you for the sterling, amazing words. God bless you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, there's only one other important remark I would like to make. Ours is a very great party. But the first word in our motto is justice. And we should not just pay lip service to that word and that motto. Justice and equity is what will get us to El Dorado. We're well on our way, but we need that. And I speak in terms of my members of the House of Representatives. I am glad that the chairman of the APC Governors Forum has talked on it. Mr. Chairman, there are indications, and we're trying to stem that tide, of many members trying to drift, go to one party or the other. The reason is very simple. They're very happy in APC. They love the party. They love the principles of the party. But like I've always said, survival and self-preservation is the first instinct of any human being. In terms of primaries, please let our members, I'm not asking for favors for our members, but let our members have a fair shake in the primaries. It is too important for this party. Too important. I will be knocking on doors of many governments, and I want to appeal to our governments to please, in the interest of the party, let our members have a fair share. If a member is not on ground, I will never speak for it, because we need people on ground. But where a member is on ground and is doing well and is loved by his people, let us not deprive him of his ticket. And in this vein, I want to thank profusely, as a point of reference, the governor of Kebbi State, who just a couple of weeks ago, I met with him in his house to speak on behalf of a couple of our members who were about ready to cross over to another party. He gave me audience and was very magnanimous. He spoke well. The impression that I got changed when I left the venue in terms of his relationship with those members. And I'm happy, Your Excellency, to hear that since that meeting, things are getting better, things are looking brighter for those members. I thank you very much for that accommodation. And I will still try and see as many governors as possible. Please accommodate me. Never mind me. Accept me. I'm speaking only for my members. The same way governors speak for governors, we, the National Assembly, as a necessity, will speak for ourselves where we need to speak for ourselves. And I will ask that we please accommodate this. And I thank I thank His Excellency Governor El Rufai. I remember 4 years ago, I paid him a visit to speak on behalf of some members. One or two things he was able to do, some he was not able to do. But at least he had a listening ear, and I pray that we will have the same this time around. Thank you very much. God bless our great party, and God bless you all.
National Working Committee, our governors, and other distinguished members of the National Working Committee and NEC members. Your Excellency, Mr. President, let me join the previous speakers by thanking you for providing leadership at the time that we needed it most. Today, sir, we are celebrating that leadership. Our brand new National Working Committee, led by distinguished Senator Abdullah Adamu, is the reason why we are here. If we didn't get it right, the story would have been probably different. So I want to thank you, Your Excellency, and I want at this point to pledge our total commitment, loyalty, and dedication to you and our party. Your Excellency, the 9 members of the National Assembly of APC stock have been consistent. We have shown complete loyalty to our party. We remain committed to the end by the grace of God. We believe that together with the executive arm of government, we have done so much, even though our traducers and opposition would always like to take us for granted and talk badly about us. Your Excellency, the present set of National Working Committee members, especially the first 3, the National Chairman, the Deputy National Chairman North, and the National Secretary are our exports to our party. They are all distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And for us in the Senate particularly and the National Assembly, our loyalty will never know any bound, because this is our National Working Committee in a way and in a sense. Sir, Senator Abdullah Adamu has just taken over. I can see he is going to lead us in the fight against protecting our party and our administration. I would appeal to all of us to continue to project and protect the image of our administration and our president. Some people recently, of course, someone was even contemplating or suggesting an interim administration in this country. We will see and hear a lot of this kind of distractions. I think it becomes all of us, especially those of us in leadership, to continue to promote what we have been able to achieve in this administration and in our states, and also protect our party. The onslaughts will be very high and very tough as we move towards 2023. But I think with what we have been able to achieve, we have everything, every possible ammunition to project the image of our president, this administration, and our party. Finally, Mr. President, I want to assure everyone here, on behalf of the members of the National Assembly, that we will continue to support our party. However, we expect our party to also look at our members very favorably. Having done so much in terms of performance and working very cooperatively and assiduously with the executive arm of government and all agencies of government for the realization of our mandate, the manifestos and programs and policies of our government. So I think the present set of members of the National Assembly of APC stock deserve a very special treatment. It's not bad to ask, just like the Honorable Speaker said, unless someone is not in sync with what is happening in our party, in the senatorial district or federal constituency. If someone has paid his dues, I believe that the time is also right for another term for that person. I believe that it's the experience that members of the National Assembly gather that make them perform so well. So one good term, Your Excellency, I would like to say deserves another. Let me conclude by congratulating you, Mr. President, for salvaging this country. We have listened to so many accusations, and yet your response has been to ensure that there is stability in this country. If we have insecurity in Nigeria, this is not because of our last 7 years in this administration. It must have been built over the years, but culminating at this point. Fortunately for us, you have shown commitment more than any other president in the history of this country, and this administration has spent more resources trying to arm our armed forces and provide resources for our security agencies to fight the insecurity that bedevils us. I believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm so confident and optimistic that before we leave in 2023, Mr. President would have secured our country, the lives and property of our people would have been better protected. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is our first meeting since the National Convention. I congratulate our great party for successfully conducting the ward, local government, state congresses, and the National Convention in compliance with the party constitution. I must commend the Mala Buni-led caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee and all its members for offering themselves to serve the party at a critical moment in uttermost satisfaction despite all the attendant challenges, and for organizing the National Convention that has produced the National Working Committee for our great party. I must also sincerely thank all the aspirants for their desire to serve, but had to withdraw their aspirations for the overall interest of our party. I consider it an honor to my person and unwavering sacrifice for the unity of our great party as we approach the coming elections. I plead with all aspirants who were not elected to put in efforts in support of the leadership of the party to achieve our goal of success in the forthcoming elections. Furthermore, I am pleading with all litigants to withdraw cases against the party and put faith in party mechanisms. I want to congratulate our party national chairman, His Excellency Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the entire National Working Committee members for their elections as members of the National Working Committee. You came in at a critical time, and the entire party has high expectations from you. The critical task ahead of you remains to continue to forge the unity of purpose among party members and to seek and to keep securing needful compromises in the interest of our great party. I enjoin you all to follow the due process in all the party processes, and more importantly, to develop more mechanisms against corruption. I call on all party members to abide by all extant laws, rules, and regulations, and to leaders of our party to avoid imposition of candidates that cannot win popular elections. This dictatorial behavior cost us many strategic seats in the past. In the recent past, this led to some of our strong members, unfortunately, often to go elsewhere because of unfairly oppressive behavior of party leaders at state level. I must caution strongly against any tendency towards developing cliques, infighting within the party. We want to win well, not succumb to factions on account of personal acerbity and desire to retain control at all costs. That surely is the road to win. I enjoin you all to recognize the place of due process in all our tasks as managers of the party. We must develop party inbuilt mechanisms against corruption. Our success in 2023 will depend more on our capacity to respect our own extant rules and regulations. Once again, the principal challenge before you is the need to forge a united front for the party. It is our responsibility to keep creating and sustaining compromises among party leaders and members across the country. We will identify elements and factors that will facilitate it. This I urge the new National Working Committee to place as a priority task. Whatever you need help in this critical time, please do not hesitate to seek out assistance from the appropriate quarters. I stand ready at the service of the party and the country. Now that NEC has vested its powers in National Working Committee for the time being, as requested, and in compliance with the party constitution, in the overall interest of the party, I want to assure Mr. Chairman and the entire National Working Committee members of my full support. Let us work collectively in the interest of our great party and to ensure solid victory in the coming general elections. That is the task before us. Thank you. May God bless our party. No, please remain seated. I am constrained to go out of context so that the National Working Committee will be more encouraged that they should go, please, by this, the constitution of the party. Please. It's very important because how did the APC come about? The PDP thought only time will remove them and they choose time to be endless. We recognize it. When I say we, ANPP, ACN, ABGA, CPC, and another party. We form committees. DPP, yeah. We formed committees, and we gave the committees terms of reference to go and discuss how we can wrest power from PDP. They are not to take decisions, but they will take recommendations to their respective parties. PDP thought that would not be possible. And when we decided to come together, that's the very importance of coming together. Before they realize it, we remove them for good. So it is very important. And the National Working Committee is your job now. Keep the party together. If you have evidence of any governor, or even myself not doing very well, send your leadership to discuss the issue so that we can continue to move the country forward. There is no way, with the meager resources we have, with the time limitations we have, to develop differences among ourselves. We have no time for that. I want you to reflect. When we came, and in this administration, what is the position in security, economy, and corruption? Northeast, you can ask that active governor. How many local governments were in the hands of the government there? Look at South. The position now relative to time and resources, this administration has done extremely well. Keep on reminding your constituencies of that. because people are very forgetful. Our main problem, surprisingly to me, is the Northwest and North Central. People stealing each other's animals, killing each other, burning each other's villages. What for? We are going to be very tough. I thank you very much.
Okay.